Yes, God family, it's Megan, and today I just want to have a little chat with you, and I want to talk about pulling yourself out of a slump. I want to talk about the power of gratitude, and I want to talk about the power of your mind. One thing that I have noticed for myself is that when I am in a slump, it's typically because I am giving all of my energy and all of my attention to something that doesn't feel good. Whether I am experiencing a loss of connection with someone, or I feel like I have a lack of resources, or I feel like in some way, shape, or form, my circumstance is not what I want it to be. And this may sound like very cliche advice, and it's not always easy to just switch over to gratitude and being grateful for things, especially when you're in that space of really not feeling well and really not feeling like things are the way they should be. And so instead of just trying to skip right over to gratitude, I think the first thing that's very important is to be aware of what are you feeding yourself in terms of what you're listening to, what you're talking about, what you're watching, and how do those things make you feel? Pay attention to how those things are actually, what response is being created in your body through those things. Once you're aware of those things, you can start to tweak that and start to take breaks away from those things. Taking a walk, I know it sounds cliche, but it is amazing. Even if it's cold outside, put a coat on, take a walk, get some fresh air. Walking is an activity that regulates your nervous system. It requires your eyes to move in a certain way. I don't know all the science behind that. You can look it up, but essentially, taking a walk is a really good hack. Drinking water, sitting down, being still, allowing yourself to just be with what is, and honestly, allowing yourself to feel your feelings. If you are feeling sad or upset or depressed, allow yourself to feel that. So many times we want to distract ourselves away from uncomfortable feelings. And what winds up happening with me is that when I try to distract or numb my uncomfortable feelings, it's really not helping. It's really just delaying the inevitable. And sometimes when I do that, the feelings can come out sideways. I may take it out on another person. Heaven forbid, I may take it out on my children. And so I really try to give myself permission to feel. Give myself permission to be frustrated. Give myself permission to be upset. I can do that while I'm being mindful of what I'm consuming, and I can slowly start to shift what I'm consuming or stop consuming at all. And like I said, just go outside and take a walk so that my attention and my awareness has a breather. It has space to just let go of focusing on whatever's going wrong. Gratitude, all right, is not only in just looking around and saying, oh, I'm grateful for this and I'm grateful for that and I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. Gratitude is in its purest form, I believe, being present with yourself in the moment. One of the ways that I love to do that is through writing, giving myself permission to actually let those feelings out. Hey, I feel like crap today. This happened, this person did this person said that. This hurt my feelings, it really makes me, and just giving myself the opportunity and the space to take those thoughts out of my mind and put them and channel them somewhere. Because what happens in that process is I get more insight, I gain more wisdom into my internal state. Because our internal state is actually really selecting and co-creating what it is we will experience in the future. And that's a correlation that some people are very defensive about, and they don't want to accept that, because what that means is that you would have to take accountability for the things that happen in your life. You don't have bad luck, you expect bad things to happen. It's not that nothing ever works out for you, it's that you expect things not to work out for you. And so just like we kind of create these negative circumstances, we also have the power to do that in the opposite direction and create positive circumstances. And it can feel very uncomfortable. It can feel like you're faking it, or you're not keeping it real, or you're not being honest with yourself. And two things can be true at the same time. You can allow yourself to be in this uncomfortable emotional state while still disciplining your mind and repeating to yourself things like, everything always works out for me. I don't know how, but everything always works out for me. I don't know how, but this is for my good. I don't know how, but it's going to be revealed to me soon. So prefacing your affirmations with "I don't know how" disarms the nervous system. It disarms the subconscious and allows you to kind of bypass, you accepting that as truth. So saying, "I don't know how, but I know that things are going to get better soon. I don't know how, but I know that I'm going to have a breakthrough. I don't know how, but I know there's going to be a revelation for me around the corner." And you'll find that the more and more that you discipline your mind and your thoughts, even when your internal state doesn't feel that and it's not truly true for you in that moment, you will start to find patches of relief, patches of, okay, well, I don't feel that bad anymore. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I'm not feeling as bad as I was yesterday. And it's very important for us to keep in mind that states of consciousness are relative. Just like Fred Dotson talks about in his book. I always talk about Fred Dotson because he is amazing. He has a levels of energy scale in here, and it talks about the different emotions that are present on each level of energy. And one of the things that he talks about in this book is that being arrogant, being or angry or dominant or aggressive, right? You would think that that's a lower vibration. And it is a lower vibration. However, what's even lower than that is guilt, is shame, is humiliation, hatred, despair, depression. So being angry is a step above those things. So even if you can get yourself from a state of, feeling apathetic and like you just don't care and like, oh, everything is going wrong, everything is horrible. If you can get yourself to a state of anger, that is an improvement, because anger has a bit of enthusiasm behind it, right? It has a bit of strength behind it. It has a bit of fight behind it. And so once you can get to anger, then you can start working your way up the scale. So be reasonable and don't expect yourself to go from anxious and depressed to happy-go-lucky the next day. It doesn't necessarily work like that. Not saying that it's not possible, but have grace with yourself, have compassion with yourself as you begin to take back power and control of what it is that you're creating and selecting for your reality. Because right now, what we're experiencing in our current right now circumstance is the result of thoughts that we had before this moment. So that means that the thoughts that we have right now, the feelings that we have right now, are creating the future moments that we're going to experience. So there's always a buffer, a time lapse that happens where the manifestations of our emotional state have to come into fruition. And this is why gratitude is such a hack. This is why living in the God state, knowing that you're already all that is, knowing that you're one with all that is, knowing that you are perfect, knowing that you are magnificent, knowing that you are love, knowing that you are peace, knowing that you already are, allows you to naturally manifest things that confirm that to you. Because whatever you see in your circumstances right now is simply a confirmation of the things that you've told yourself about yourself. And I have some self-concept rampages going on viral on my Instagram right now and my TikTok, because I am really just showing people how you can override those thoughts. We have at least 70,000 thoughts in our mind a day. And the trick is to override those. And the only way that you can override those is by first being aware of them. And then secondly, really having a new line of thought, a new line of thoughts that you can refer to and repeat over and over again. And so having an attitude of gratitude really means being here in the present moment, because the phone that we use, everyone's always on their phone, that is pulling us away from the present moment. When I went to the store earlier today, I saw everybody was on their phone. You know, people are waiting in line and they're just, you know, here. No one's looking around. No one's having conversations. No one's saying, hey, you look nice today. I mean, I'm doing that, but there's not many people doing that. And so in a world that is literally persuading and vying for us and banking on us to not be aware of our power of our mind and not be aware of how much influence we have over our reality, the phone is something that is an act of radical self-love, and it's an act of radical compassion to put your phone down sometimes, to actually just be present there. Even if you're not going to have a conversation with someone, look around and in your mind silently start saying thank you to people. I look at people all the time. I'm like, God bless you and your family. I hope your children are healthy. I hope that you get an unexpected check in the mail. I hope that you get home safely. Like, really start to exude love. Send love out to people. Send love out to people. Send love to yourself. Acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge all of the hard things you've accomplished. Acknowledge all of the things that you have survived. And when you start to have that train of thought, you will find that your circumstances will start to shift. Yes, God. My name is Megan. I help women naturally restore their womb health. I also help people reprogram their mindset and remember that they are divine regardless of circumstance. God spoke to me this morning and told me, hey, it's time to get serious about this YouTube thing. Stop trying to wait for the perfect time, the perfect background, the perfect look, the perfect hair, to put the perfect makeup on. And I said, okay, God, I know when I receive communication like that, it's time to act. It's not time to question who, what, where, when, and why. It's time to just pull the trigger and do it. So I hope this was helpful for you. You will be seeing a lot more of me because I have received my marching orders, and that is the one being that I don't question and I don't push back on. Yes, God.